Are you one of those players who wastes a lot of shots around the green and on the green? Then today I've got 3 ideas for you which are going to help you with the short little shots around the green, and 1 really important putting tip that's going to help to make you putt better and save a lot of shots around the green. The first of these 3 shots we're going to look at is the short chip shot or short pitch shot, just short shot onto the green. Now, so many players keep their body very, very still with these shots. I guess the theory behind that is the more stability they've got, the easier it's going to be to play the shot. In actual fact, as far as body movement goes, it's the opposite. So when we're playing these shots, we definitely need to move the body. The most common thing that I see, or two most common things, is that the body stays still and the arms are locked, and then there's no movement anywhere. The body's quite rigid during the stroke. The second thing that I'll see is, again, the body's very still, but there's so much movement with the hands. Now, when you're swinging the club like that and playing shots like that, one of the real issues is that when the club meets the ball, the shaft is quite vertical. Now, you'll probably know this if you play shots where you hit the ball quite high with these short little shots, or if you hit behind or hit them thin. Now, they're 3 different results, but they're actually caused from the same thing, from the shaft being too vertical. So the solution is actually to move the body. So when I swing the club back, and then from here, I've got a small amount of body movement in my backswing, but when I swing down, like every other shot, my lower body is leading the motion. Now, my feet are close together, so I'm not going to move a long way sideways, so I'm still quite stable, but I am still shifting pressure a tiny bit more toward my front foot in the downswing, and also allowing my body to turn. Now, because my body turns and my hands are passive, that allows the club to meet the ground with the shaft leaning forward. So even if I'm playing a shot that's got quite a bit of loft on the club, I can still keep it quite low, which gives me more control. The fact that I've got shaft lean helps to offset any potential mishit. You do this, you won't have a mishit. So when I set myself up, my balance is slightly forward, and then as you'll see when I swing through, you can see how my body movement is very, very complete. So I've got a lot more pressure on the front side of my body here. My body's turned more toward the target, and I've got a great result. So the second shot that we're going to look at is, it's probably more of a strategic option, especially for players who do struggle with the short shots around the green. If you follow the advice from the first clip, then you probably won't need to use this one. But I've got a hybrid here. Now, the shot that I've got a bit of ground to cover before I get to the green. Now, for players who really struggle with mishitting shots, using a hybrid, which is a lot longer shaft, which means that for any given shot, I don't have to hit the ball as hard as what I would if I was using a pitching wedge or a sand wedge or something like that. The other thing is I've got less loft, which is also going to make the ball come off lower and run. So I've got a lot more control of a running shot. So when I'm playing this shot, when I make my swing, I only need to make quite a small swing. So I've probably got about 15 to 18 yards or 18 meters to the pin from here. And you'll see that the swing I'm going to make is only going to be about this big. Now, if I was playing that same shot with a pitching wedge or a sand wedge, I'd make a much bigger swing. So here my balance is very stable, feet are close together, and then my arms are staying quite soft as I move through. And you can see, just like the previous shot, my body is moving a little bit, but because I don't need the power that I used on the first shot, I'll have a lot less body movement. It's still there though, because I've got soft arms, soft wrists, very little wrist action, but no rigidity to try and prevent it. So let's play that shot. Just this tiny little swing. That gets the ball running right off the club and finishing pretty near the hole. Now, that shot is a very simple shot. Now, a lot of players might choose to hit a putter from this far off the green, so I'm about probably 6 meters, 6 yards off the green, but I've got a lot of ground to cover. Now, if I'm doing that with a putter, I've got to hit the ball really, really hard. Whereas with this, as you saw, it's quite a short swing. So practice these couple of little shots And then we're going to have a look at one tip with putting which might make all the difference to you. Let's have a look at one element of putting which is very often overlooked, and that's the speed of the stroke. Now, a lot of players, when they're putting, particularly if they're not putting well, they go into very cautious mode. So they're trying to keep the putter moving very slowly so they feel like they've got much more control over the movement of the putter head. Now, if I make a putting stroke which is super, super slow, it's so easy for me to have movement in that putter head as I move back and through. So I need a certain amount of speed in my putting stroke to make the motion quite rhythmic. Now, when I swing the putter back and through, I'm actually keeping up a reasonably good pace. And when I play the shot, as you'll see in the recording, when you watch my stroke here, my backstroke time, and as you can see by the counter, is around about 600 milliseconds, and my through stroke time is about 300 milliseconds. So I've got a backswing downswing ratio of about 2-to-1. So my backstroke time is 600 milliseconds or thereabouts. My downstroke time to impact's 300 milliseconds. So that's hence the 2-1 relationship. Now, it doesn't matter what length putt I've got, I'm going to have that 2-1 relationship with the putting stroke. Interestingly, I'm also going to go very, very close, if not exactly, on the same amount of time. So the putt that I've got here is relatively close to the hole, but if I was double or triple or even further from the hole, that timing would be the same. So if you practice these three skills, remember the first one with the pitching and little chip shots is where the body movement continues. Really critical because you can stay soft and ensure some forward lean to help offset those mishits. The second one, using the hybrid and practicing that as another option around the green because you don't have to hit the ball hard in the first place. And the third one, just having good tempo with your putting stroke. I'd say increase your putting stroke, but some of you will already swing the putter quite quickly. But find the timing and the tempo that's very similar to what I demonstrated, and I'll guarantee you with those three shots around the green, you're going to start to shave a lot of strokes off your score. So if the ideas that I've presented here with your putting stroke, your short chip shot, and using the hybrid for the running shot resonate with you, and you want to find out how can I adapt extra improvement into my longer shots, then click the link below so you can download the 4 free videos that I've provided which talk about what we're looking for with good contact with all your full shots and how to achieve it.